Welcome to Starkey Soundbites. I'm your host, Dave Fabry, Starkey's Chief Innovation Officer. I love football and the football season, and every time fall comes around, I just can't wait. And that's why I'm so excited for this podcast today with Joe Eden, who is a fierce competitor on the gridiron. I had the opportunity to see him in Orlando at the USA Games for Special Olympics, and he has a special passion for flag football. He also has a hearing loss, and I was honored to get to meet him and participate in the fitting and the assessment of his hearing while we were all together in Orlando. Starkey is part of this partnership that Starkey has with the Special Olympics. We were all together in Orlando in June of this year. That partnership is made possible by Starkey Cares, our corporate social responsibility initiative here at Starkey. Joe and his mother, Twila, who was also in Orlando for the USA Games, are joining me from their home in Idaho via Zoom today. And Joe, I think you just got home from school, if I'm not mistaken. Is that right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
From school?
School or work?
What?
You were at work? Okay,
Yeah.
well, thank you for doing this. We're doing the recording this evening, so I know it's probably already been a pretty full day for you, but we appreciate your taking the time to be together with us on Starkey Soundbites.
Thanks for having us.
It was our pleasure. And, you know, one of the special things for me, I'm an audiologist, and I've been an audiologist for almost 40 years this year. And in my role at Starkey, it also allows me to participate with Starkey's corporate social responsibility program, Starkey Cares. And that meant that I got to go down to Orlando to see the opening games and to see and participate in the assessment of hearing for the athletes who were there from around the country. And one of the very sobering statistics that Special Olympics has shared with us leading to this partnership is that there are about 30,000 Special Olympians around the world, and 83% of them, 30,000 Special Olympians around the world with hearing loss, and 83% of them say that they've never even had a hearing test. And it's just remarkable to me that 83% of those athletes who said, you know, they had some difficulty with their hearing hadn't even had the opportunity to have their hearing tested and then also to have the benefit of amplification. And so for me, it was a real special treat to participate with Joe one of the first days that we were there in Orlando, and to see not only his assessment of his hearing and that he has a hearing loss, and to see him be fitted with amplification. And then even after that, to see him perform in outstanding fashion on the flag football field. So can you talk a little bit, Joe, about your experience first when you were fitted with the hearing aids? We fit you with Evolve AI 2400 hearing aids, the highest end devices we have. But had you ever worn hearing aids before?
Did you have hearing aids before?
Yeah.
How long ago did you have them?
I am like how old I was in. I was older like a high school.
In high school. Okay.
Yeah.
And how old are you now?
24.
24. So it had been a few years since you'd worn devices, and because I remember in Orlando you weren't wearing hearing aids. At least you didn't have them with you at that time. So it had been a number of years really since you'd worn hearing aids?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
How was that when we first fitted you to be able to hear your coach who was there and to be able to hear all of us? What was that experience like? You hadn't heard that way in probably a few years. Can you describe a little bit about what it felt like to be able to hear that well again with your new devices?
My very well.
Mm-hmm.
Very well. I can people loud. I can hear very well. Yeah.
And after we fitted you, one of the things I remember we were talking about was, your excitement with wanting to be able to hear when you were on the field. So it was pretty cool. At the day after you were fitted, then you went and had your first game. And if I'm not mistaken, you not only played exceedingly well, you caught a touchdown pass. And what was it like to be able to hear the other players on the field, hear your coach, and to be able to hear the crowd cheering after you scored that touchdown?
I máy in me đi out your cold look in me look in my beer what you call what you want yeah he told me or number he told me or tell me I mean he told me or tell me he told me number one.
He called play number one, which was for you to go down the left.
Number one. Yeah.
Yeah, and if I'm not mistaken, you ran down and sprinted down the left side of the field and caught the ball on the. So that was your play number one that they called.
Yeah.
And you were able to.
It's like email, corner, email, owner, and. Number.
Okay, so that was the play. So number one, you had to be able to hear the play clearly so that you knew where you would be, so that then when the quarterback threw the ball to you, you'd be in the right place.
Yeah.
And because you heard the play that was being called, and as you said, it's a series of numbers and letters, and so you knew what play was going to be called. You went racing down the left side of the field, caught the ball, but then you weren't done yet because you had to still see and hear where everyone was around you to get into the end zone. It wasn't like you caught the ball in the end zone. You caught it and then ran another 10 yards before you scored.
Yeah.
Yep.
I let that it was like hey that it mean I mean like
Yep. Yeah, so it's ready, set, hut, and then hut again. If you couldn't hear that and know when to get a break off the line to start running your route, you couldn't have been as effective as you were in scoring that touchdown.
Yeah.
And I remember you said that you could hear your coach on the sidelines. You could tell not only that there were other players around you trying to grab the flag, but you could kind of detect where they were, so you knew how to run and where to run so that you could get in the end zone before they pulled your flag on the flag football.
Yeah.
Did you win that game?
We went in.
Mm-hmm.
We played in what in? Or what?
Yeah.
What? We either won one game.
Yep.
We won that game.
Yep. Okay. So you won the first game, and then in the second game, did you win as well, or did you lose the second game?
They won that.
Okay. Oh wow. That's awesome.
Now we went in and won. We lost tournament 14.
Okay, the fourth game. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, one of the things that's so great about the mission of the Special Olympics is win or lose, just the fact that you're there with the other athletes and meeting new people and that you're participating and playing at a very high level. And then for me, I think it was extra special that we were able to see how well you could hear on the field. And Twila, I'd love to talk with you a little bit about what your thoughts are. You were in the crowd at the football games, cheering Joe on. But then also, I think, now after the games, one of the things that was particularly important with the Starkey Cares program is that not only are we fitting the athletes at, in this case, the USA Games in Orlando, we also had another event at the Unified Cup in Michigan a few weeks later. The important part is that we're fitting the athletes and then setting them up for follow-up care with a local provider. And so in Idaho, I know that before Joe left, we were able to identify one of our partners who said that they would be happy to continue to work with him to ensure that any fine-tuning or follow-up that is so essential and so important to hearing aid use, that they could facilitate that after the game. So it's not just like the hearing aids and then you're done. It's part of that in ensuring that he's benefiting with the devices as much as possible. So can you talk a little bit about being in the, let's back up. I packed a lot in there, but being in the crowd and seeing him score that touchdown at that first game, what did that feel like?
Really awesome. So you're going to make me cry. It was wonderful to be there. I have to go back a little bit because
Please.
We adopted Joseph when he was 14, and he was born with cleft lip and palate. And he had, when we brought him home, he had water in his ears. So that ruined his hearing. He wasn't repaired properly, as a little boy. So we took him to the cleft lip and palate doctors, and they were the ones that found that he had the fluid in his ears, and so we had tubes put in to drain that. And he was fitted with some hearing aids, but he didn't like them at all. He didn't want to wear them, so they ended up missing one day. And we found them, I think, later on the next summer. But anyway, I've got to tell you that with these new hearing aids, he has had them in every single day. And I don't know, I think it's because sports is such a big part of his life, and Special Olympics, and he's so proud to be a part, of that. And that he has just taken those hearing aids and used them to the best of his ability, and he just loves them. And we're so excited, to see him doing that. And he's more interested in learning how to speak properly, and so I think it's going to open a lot of new doors. Also, because of the advancement in the hearing aids now, it's not such a big deal. They don't look like they used to, and I don't think that he feels different than anybody else, and to be able to wear them on the field is really important as well.
Well, thank you.
It was exciting.
Thank you for sharing that. And Joe, so do you agree with what your mom said? It's, the devices now, everybody's wearing stuff in their ears now. And I think, when I remember being there when we first turned the devices on and your eyes lit up and you were really hearing so much better when they were in, and they were in both ears. And I'm delighted to hear that you're doing so well and that you want to wear them, because for me, that's the most important thing. People will say, well, what are the best hearing aids? And I say, the best ones are the ones that are worn. And the reality is that we were fitting you with these devices with that intention of having you wear them all the time. You can safely wear them when you're playing football. And as we discussed in Orlando, that, protecting your ears so that they don't fall off and things is important, but also knowing where everyone is on the field and being able to hear your coach, hear the other players, hear the hut, and then know when to run and hear the signal and the play call. All of that is just magic. And, Disney, they say, is the happiest place on earth. And what you just shared with me, Twila, indeed makes me very happy. And especially because he's continuing to wear them and want to wear them every day, and that it's really helping you with, you said a very important thing, Twila. A lot of people take for granted that hearing and speech, they don't realize how connected they are. And really being able to hear your own voice enables you to then develop your voice in a way that isn't possible if you can't hear your own voice. And so that's really cool, Joe, that you're wanting to wear the hearing aids every day. Can you tell me a little bit about some of the sounds that you're hearing off the football field that are your favorite sounds? What other sounds do you like to hear other than, we know you're passionate about football? What are some of the other sounds that you really like to hear?
Music? You like to listen to music?
I don't know what it's called for birthday. I didn't know that for birthday. Yeah.
He does like to listen to music.
Okay.
Yeah.
What style of music is your favorite? Do you like country? Do you like rock? Pop music?
I like Ghana for birthday.
Oh, he likes Chinese music.
Oh, wow. Cool. And do I hear that? Do you have a dog?
I'm sorry.
Oh, no. I was asking that specifically. Can you hear your dog better when your dog is wanting to go outside or is hungry?
Yeah.
How about your friends? With some of the friends that you're hanging out with at work, do you find that at work you're hearing better wearing your hearing aids too?
Oh, yeah, you do. What's the name? Jackie. It want the wow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, that's really cool. And I remember that really the only thing, do you remember the only thing that we disagreed about when we were in Orlando? Do you remember our conversation?
Oh, yeah.
What were we talking about? We were talking about, you and I had a disagreement over who was the best quarterback in the NFL. We both know that it's Aaron Rodgers, but you were falsely claiming that Tom Brady was a better quarterback than Aaron Rodgers. But Brady might be the greatest of all time, but Aaron Rodgers is the two-time MVP of the NFL. So what do you have to say about that?
I don't think I'm by every year football. If I think it went well.
He is. No, Brady's great, but now, I don't know. He's pretty old. I don't know that he's going to play all that well this year. I think maybe we'll see Rodgers back in the Super Bowl. He won't get as many rings as Brady's got, but I think he's still going to play pretty well this year. Who would you rather have throwing the ball to you on the football field, Brady or Rodgers?
I'm Brady.
Okay, I'm not going to make a convert out of you, I don't think.
I hope it went next year football. I hope I'm very well. I hope I'm back.
Yeah, I hope he plays well, but I hope that the Green Bay Packers beat him to get to the Super Bowl, because we'll have to beat Brady probably in order to get to the Super Bowl. But then I'll call you back when after that game takes place, hopefully in the playoffs for both of us, and we'll argue who had a better game. Is that a deal?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. You might I'm back. but what happened?
We'll
Yeah.
see. We'll see. Do you have any advice for your fellow athletes? We said 30,000 Special Olympians say that they have trouble with their hearing. 83% haven't even had a hearing test. What advice do you have for anyone who has a hearing loss and has avoided getting hearing aids?
Get that hearing test quick.
Because
Yeah.
yeah, and it's really good for everyone in the family too. I mean, being able to hear around the home, being able to hear your mom, hear activities. Did you have the TV up louder before? Do you find that Joe's listening to the TV at a lower volume now?
Mostly what I recognize is his speech,
Yeah.
because he talked so loudly. I'd always have to tell him to quiet.
You know, now that
down.
you mentioned that, I remember. Yeah, you talked very loudly, and when you hear your voice better, you can get it down to a level. You were talking so that you could hear your own voice better, but now you can go down to a more comfortable level.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty cool.
It is.
Well, you live in Idaho, and now Idaho doesn't have an NFL football team. It's a little bit like Minnesota. They don't really have a football team either. They have the Vikings, but that's not really an NFL team. So are the Tampa Bay Buccaneers your favorite team, or is it just Tom Brady that you like?
I like it.
You like what?
I like NFL in.
Mm-hmm.
What the end?
Yeah. So when Brady retires from the Buccaneers, are you going to still follow Tampa, or does that mean that you're going to cheer maybe for the Seattle Seahawks or one of the teams that's closer to home?
Oh. Wait, Emma.
When Brady's not playing anymore, who are you going to cheer for?
Aaron Rodgers?
I don't know. I look in what in 49ers.
Okay, 49ers, they're a good squad.
Yeah.
That's a good one. We'll end it there. I have a lot of friends who are 49er fans. I respect that. But Joe, I can't thank you enough, and Twila, for joining us here on this special edition of Sound Bites. And Joe, as I said, you're a star footballer, but also you're doing so well with your hearing aids, and we're delighted about that. And we look forward to seeing you at the future games, maybe in the World Games in Germany next year. But whatever it is that you're doing, I know you're going to be a standout performer, and let us know how we can assist you in any way on your journey. And I'm so glad that you're doing so well.
Thank you so much. What a blessing
It's
these
our,
hearing aids are, and what a blessing you've been. Thank
Oh.
you so much.
It's our pleasure. And to our listeners, we thank you for joining us on this episode of Starkey Soundbites. And if you enjoyed this conversation with Joe Eden and his mom Twila, please rate and review us on your preferred podcast platform. Please feel free to share with your friends and network. And you can also follow us or hit subscribe to be sure that you don't miss a single episode. And thank you both again, and we wish you all the best.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye.